That's so brilliant! This video is sponsored by Case Filters. Yeah, really, as crazy as that might sound, but I never owned cameras and lenses that were good enough for really strong astrophotography. Not in my analog times in the 1990s, and also not when I switched over to digital photography. My camera and lenses of today are perfect for landscape photography, but they are just okay for astrophotography. But you know, I don't want to get just okay shots. I want to get masterpieces, final photographs. That's the reason why I'm a photographer. So my gear of today is just okay for astro, but I got some new filters from Case recently, and I think that could maybe improve the quality of my astro photos massively. So I would say, let's go out, let's give it a try. My friends, very nice to see you. It's just 2 hours ago or something like that that I arrived from a bigger photography trip, and then I saw that Photrus sent me a notification for Milky Way. It's possible to shoot the Milky Way tonight. That's really fantastic. I'm really excited about that. The only thing is I didn't have time to drive to any location or so. I'm just in my local area, just 5 minutes from here or so. And I would say first thing we do is let's look for composition. So what have I got? I've got this pouch here, and that's really fantastic because I'm super organized by that. There's everything in I need for my astrophotography. So whenever I want to go out for astrophotography, I just have to grab this bag. I don't have to think about other things because everything is in. When I go out for landscape photography, I just leave it at home. And that's really cool. I have everything in here. I have some filter holders here, some filters and more filter holders. I will show you that a little bit later. So this here is a quite special lens. It's a 14mm f1.8 lens, and that's quite a wide lens, so what I need is a special filter adapter because it's not possible to screw any adapter rings or anything on this lens. So I have this special adapter ring for this, it's a Sony G-Master lens, it's especially for this one. The next step I do is I put the filter holder on. That's the Irmler filter holder from Case. So let's do that. And as you can see, the really cool thing is it's magnetic. I don't have to do anything. Also, when it's getting dark here right now, I can just put it on and off, and the same is also for the filters. So let's do that. The first filter I put on is the clear night filter, and what it does is it reduces artificial light, the frequency of artificial light. You know, where we have light pollution, I don't have all too much of light pollution here in my area, I have to say, because I think it's one of the best possible areas in Europe even. But we anyway have any light pollution. And what I also think is, because it's a tiny bit hazy today, I think maybe it can increase the contrast of the stars to the backdrop. And we will try that out. So I can just put it in here like that. And that's it. And the second filter I want to give it a try is the Dreamy Night filter. And again, it's just magnetic. I just have to put it on like that, and that's it. How easy is that? Now the only thing we have to do right now is we have to wait that it gets a little bit darker, that the Milky Way rises, and then we'll take a shot. As you can see, it got already quite dark, obviously, and I got the Milky Way already on a position where it really adds to the composition. Now, I will take the exposures right now. I will start with one exposure without filters, then I will put on the clear night filter, and then I will put on the dreamy night filter. So let's go. I have 8 seconds of exposure time. Yeah, it takes an eternity. 8 seconds, amazing. That's it. Let's put out the next filter. This is the clear night filter. I will show you the image afterwards. You will compare them in my office. The next one. This is the clear night filter. Again, 8 seconds. Crazy. And this is the dreamy night filter. And as you can see, this is really amazing. It's so dark here, but it's anyway possible just to click it on and off. Let's take the shot here. It's so quiet here, it's so fantastic. I just hear the animals here and so around. It's just really cool. Let's have a look. Oh man, the difference is crazy, really, really. Yeah, let's go back, let's compare that. Yeah, processed the image already, and yeah, wow, I mean, really. I will tell you a bit more about the filters later, and I will give you some tips about how you can get the best possible quality out of them. But first of all, let's have a look at the photos. This is the exposure without filters, and as you can see, it doesn't look bad or so, but it's anyway far away from a fine art photograph. And the reason therefore is simply that it's conveying the wrong mood for me. You know, the stars, galaxies, the universe, that all offers us a lot of space for storytelling. Maybe even about the origin of our human being or so. That's probably even one of the strongest stories we could tell with a photograph, right? And fine art photography is all about storytelling. The problem with this image is just behind that mountain is a little village, I think 900 kilometers or so far away from a metropole or so, but it's anyway quite bright, right? And in this case, the position of the light pollution would even support the visual flow of this image, but it is anyway telling the wrong story. I mean, just look, in the sky we have this idyllic mood, the story of the origin, and on the ground we are pulled back to the reality of having things like light pollution and so. That doesn't really work for me. So using no filters is definitely no option for me, to be honest. Okay, so let's have a look at the second image. That's the one, where I used the clear night filter. And the difference is huge. As you can see, the artificial light sources are reduced by this filter. The stars and even the Milky Way seem also to pop out a little bit better here. And as there is no distraction at the distant mountain anymore, it is the Milky Way that gets the star of the show here. I really love this image. I also think the clear night filter helped a tiny bit against the haze. Again, it was a tiny bit hazy out there, which is usually not the ideal requirement for astrophotography. But when I compare these two images now side by side, there is indeed a little bit of more contrast in the stars when using a clear night filter. So it's definitely possible to take fine art photographs with just a clear night filter in combination with my landscape photography gear. But the dreamy night filter takes it all to the next level. Are you ready? Here's the shot. That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, just look at these stars. This filter simply emphasizes bigger stars and suppresses smaller ones, which are distracting in the image. And by that, we get a better contrast in the sky, and we can recognize stars in the sky, even when we don't go extremely close to the image. You know, this video is sponsored by Case, but as always, I'm allowed to say my completely own opinion and even negative things which I don't like. And there's indeed one thing I don't like all too much, to be honest, but there's a solution. Okay, the sky looks amazing, right, with the dreamy night filter. That's exactly that dreamy mood I want to have in a fine art photograph, right? But when we look at the land, that's a bit too dreamy for me, to be honest. So don't get me wrong here, that's not an issue with the filter actually. The filter does exactly what it was built for, and that works in the sky perfectly. But it is too much for the lamp. But there's really a simple solution. I simply take one exposure just with the clear night filter, and then one with the clear night filter and the dreamy night filter, and then I simply blend these two images in Photoshop. I don't want to get this dreamy look completely away on the land because I think it adds. I just want to reduce it by adjusting the opacity I'd like to have. Or in other words, I want to be the one who controls the amount of dreaminess, if you want. Again, that's actually not an issue of the filter or so, because it would not be possible to produce a filter that is doing that. That's just a pro tip for you if you want to get the best possible result out. By the way, I didn't remove this distracting light spot here at the right hand side because I thought it helps a bit to compare the difference between the filters. But for the final image, I cloned it out, of course, and voila, that's the final shot. filter system I use today out in the field belong to the Case Irmler system. Yeah, that's the filter system for photography lovers. And I used a very special lens today, which is why I had also to use a very special adapter ring. And this adapter ring is just built for this one lens. Yeah, Case has a lot of special adapters, so in case you have any special lens or so, just look what they offer there for. But for all my other lenses, I can use just this one and single adapter ring. And that's really cool, but I want to be honest with you. You know, I use the KW Revolution system for my landscape photography, and I absolutely love it. Because yeah, it's so easy to use, and I can let all the filters on my lenses. And due to the magnetic system, I just can clip on and off the filters however I need them. Even the lens caps are magnetic. That's fantastic, really. So when the Irmler system arrived here in my office, I thought to myself, yeah, I would have to screw down all my KW adapter rings from my lenses and replace them, yeah, by the Irmler adapter rings. I didn't like this idea, to be honest, because you know, when you're doing that out in the field in the back, which is usual for astrophotography, it's a great chance to lose the one or other adapter ring out in the field, right? But then there came the surprise. With the adapter rings of Case, the inlaid ring and also the outlaid ring, I think, of the KW Revolution system, I can simply add the adapter ring. Let me show you. I think here I have the outlaid adapter ring, and I just can screw it on like that. Although there is already an adapter ring on. That's really, really fantastic. It doesn't sound after much maybe, but for me, that's really a big advantage. The quality of the clear night filter as well as the dreamy night filter is on that same high level as we know it for all Case filters. And same for the usability, by the way, just fantastic. They really thought before they started to produce. And both filters do not eat much light. I mean, I guess a tiny bit maybe, but honestly, that wasn't really recognizable to me. So all in all, I can definitely recommend these filters for astrophotography, even if you're working just with your common landscape photography gear like me. If you'd like to use just the clear night filter, by the way, there exists also one for the KW Revolution system. I've even got here one. And the advantage is that you don't have to screw an additional adapter ring on. You just can put it on and off like that, as the usual filter, as the circular polarizer and things like that. And this filter also helps in blue hour photography, yeah, when there's metropole or so behind your subject or so. So it's definitely good to have it in your bag. But when it comes down to astrophotography, or let's say fine art astrophotography, then I would recommend more the Irmler system, to be honest, with the dreamy night filter. That's really crazy amazing. Because this filter is simply, yeah, it emphasizes the story of the cosmos, the origin of human being, if you want. It is also possible to use all those normal filters with the Irmler system, like, yeah, you know, circular polarizer, ND filter and so on. So you could use the entire system also for your landscape photography. But I personally prefer to use both systems, the Irmler system for my astrophotography and the KW Revolution system for my landscape photography. By the way, I made already a comprehensive video about why I prefer the KW Revolution system for my landscape photography. I will link it here for you. So yes, it is possible to shoot astro with landscape photography gear. A faster lens is an advantage, of course, but it doesn't need to be something like f1.4 or so. f2.8 is already good enough for very high quality, and I think even f4 is okay. The rest is done just by the filters.